a Chablis. A Chablis is a really good wine to make cheese fondue with. So I got that in here. I start letting that boil for a little bit so the alcohol burns out, otherwise we're gonna be too fast in a happy mood. So now, of course, we come to the most important ingredient, and that's the cheese. So I know there's a lot of different cheese mixes out in the world, but my cheese fondue mix, since I came to Wisconsin, I always use some Wisconsin Swiss cheese. Then also Gruyere cheese, that's from the French-speaking part of Switzerland. A little bit of Appenzeller cheese, that's also cheese from Switzerland, from the German-speaking part. Then a little bit Emmentaler cheese, also from the German-speaking part. Then I like a little Italian touch, a little mozzarella cheese. And then one of my favorite, and not every chef is agreeing with that, I put in here some mild cheddar cheese. Yeah. I like the taste of it. The only thing here with the cheddar is, if you put too much in it, the fondue turns orange and that looks stupid. Don't do that. So now when the wine gets ready, we just put the cheese in like that. See how simple it is? Now we just let it melt for a little bit. So I have here some other ingredients what I put in my fondue. I always use some fresh dill. Fresh dill is a nice combination with cheese that goes wonderful together. So I'm just gonna add that to it. Then for the spice, I use white pepper. And always make sure you use white pepper, never a black one, otherwise we have little black dots in the fondue. Next is ground nutmeg. Nutmeg has a really strong natural taste, so I'm just gonna put a little pinch into it. A little bit more, just like that. So next thing is lemon juice. A lot of people don't know that, but a little bit of lemon juice is really good in it. Now I want to share a little story from Switzerland. While I was over in Switzerland, I was probably around 14 years old, and I was staying with my family. So one of my uncles invited us over for dinner, and he made us a lemon cheese fondue. A lemon cheese fondue. That's like half amount lemon juice, half amount wine, and then the cheese. Now, if you ever want to try it, you see it on the menu in a restaurant, or want to do it at home, don't do it, it's not good. It was really bad. So you just add a little bit to it. Next ingredient, my favorite, some fresh garlic. I really like the garlic. It gives a great taste. Every time you cook with garlic or onions, gives a great flavor to it. So in the fondue, little garlic always works out fine.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So now the cheese fondue is almost done. You see, it's so simple, it goes so fast. So now we pretty much come to the last step. Now we have to thicken it up. Because now the cheese and the wine are still separated, now we bring them together. So before I'm going to do that, I would like to share with you another story. You see, I have a pretty exciting life. Pretty exciting. So now in Switzerland, when we turn 16 years old, we are done with school. We're done with our education. That doesn't mean we are that smart, it's just the way it is. So now we have to choose what we want to be for our whole life. We have to choose an occupation. So I choose to become a chef. In my first year as a chef, I didn't know what I'm doing, but I was working in the cold kitchen making appetizers and desserts. So one day I hear about this American dessert, and the dessert was called Jello. Jello dessert? Okay, not really popular in Switzerland. But I asked my head chef if I can try it, and after a while he was like, okay, Roland, go for it. So I prepared everything. Wasn't much to prepare anyway, but then I came to the step where I had to thicken it up. So of course I used gelatin. So I put the gelatin in, and I was really surprised it wasn't thick at all. So I put some more in. Yeah, it's actually a sad story. So after a while I was like, ah, sure, put the whole thing in the cooler. So the very next day I came back to work, went to the cooler, I had the Jello on my hand, I threw it at the wall and the right bounced back to me. That's the last time I made Jello. So now the cheese totally melted down. So now when we go with the cornstarch, you always want to make sure you mix it up really nice. Cornstarch is actually the easiest way to thicken up fondue. I know you also can make like a roux, like flour and butter together, but it's a little bit more advanced. Cornstarch, you mix it with wine and you're pretty much ready to go. So now I'm going to do that, just a little bit in the beginning. because it goes really fast. Then also a lot of chefs say if you do that, you have to do like an 8 figure. Did you hear that? I don't know why. I don't do it. So, gonna add a little bit more, and then that's pretty much it. Cheese fondue is done. Cheese fondue looks like that. See? It's like a cream. So that's gonna go over the bread. So now the last ingredient we have to put in here is what we call Kirschwasser. Is anybody familiar with Kirschwasser?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a clear cherry brandy.
Yep.
Good. Now in Switzerland, and I know that, in Switzerland every chef is using the clear cherry brandy, but most time it never finds its way into the fondue. Yeah, they're all drinking it. So I'm gonna add just like that. So now fondue's done. So I'm gonna serve you a little sample, huh?